Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Spotlight Games podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the newest details about the next Grand Theft Auto. We're going to be talking Mario Kart. We're going to be talking a bunch of indie games and much, much more. I'm your host, Patrick. Joining me as always is my sweet, dare I say sweet dumpster boy, Cavemen Darty. Cavemen, you have a look on your face like you might come through the screen and murder me. What have I done, sir? Please don't attack.
You haven't played Bulletstorm yet.
Objectively true.
Objectively true.
Objectively true. I have still not played Bulletstorm. I have been playing other things though, which we're going to talk about today. But tell me, Cayman, how are you? How's your world? Tell me about your week. Fuck games. Let's just talk.
Yeah, man. Week is going strong. We recorded STC last night, as you know. Ooh, yeah, show me the muscles, baby. And you know, I feel good today. If you would have caught me yesterday during the middle of recording, I was losing my absolute mind. And so for good reason. For good reason. When that episode comes out, the audience is gonna feel my pain through the speakers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm always going good. How about you? How are you doing over there in Patrick World?
I'm okay. I tonight, as of recording, you know, I'm out here. We went to, if you're from Atlanta, if you're one of our listeners that lives in Atlanta, over the weekend went to H Mart, one of my favorite grocery stores. Got these boneless chicken thighs that were pre-marinated. And I'm like, you know what? I got 2 hours till recording. I was gonna do this like vegetable medley in the oven with some rice and some sausage. Then I was like, oh wait, we have this H Mart boneless chicken thigh marinating in some sort of bulgogi or something.
Ooh.
Let me throw that on the grill. I got 2 hours.
Okay.
Throw it on the grill. Cooking my veggies, cooking my rice, feeling great about where this is going. And then by the time the chicken is done cooking, I'm like, this looks inedible. I don't know how old this chicken was, but this I couldn't do it. It almost looked like it was uncooked, but like it was cooked. Like it wasn't a me problem. It was a chicken problem. So I'm a little upset.
Yeah.
But then it's like in hindsight, this marinated boneless chicken thigh was like $6. Like, what was I thinking? Like, okay, that's the problem here.
Categorically, H Mart typically sells their food is relatively decently priced, right?
Yeah, so their meat though can get a little pricey.
That is true, but a lot of times, if the meat though that you get from the H Mart, right? Like, if you want to pay, pretty penny, you're getting good shit, right?
Sure.
Like, you're getting weird stuff. Like,
I mean, in your opinion.
Dude, last time I was at H Mart, I was this close to buying octopus steaks.
Oh, you should have.
And I was like, I don't even know how to fucking cook this.
True.
So like, how would I even begin to start here?
Yeah.
Look, if you were to hand me a steak right now and you were like, Cayman, you need to cook this, I'd be like, yeah, it's gonna be a hard pass.
An octopus steak.
I don't trust myself to cook just a normal steak.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Much less an octopus steak. How the fuck do you cook that?
I would just put it on the grill until it looks ready. But yeah, all of that to say, as of right now, I'm a little hungry because I just had vegetables and rice, which, they were good. I think I nailed the vegetables and rice. Had a little broccoli, a little pepper, a little onion, a little potato.
All right.
It was a little situation, but that chicken, man, disappointing stuff.
Really sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but hey, it's okay. I'll just probably be hangry by the end of the episode, and then I'll just be screaming at some point. But hey, why don't we get into it so I can start screaming about something, because we have a lot of video game stuff to talk about. This is the Spotlight Games podcast, where each week we're going to spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel, or if you want to listen to it on your podcast app, you can just search Spotlight Games and whatever that podcast app is that you listen to. And hey, if we're not there, tell us so we can bang down the doors of this unknown podcast app to me so I can get our podcast there. Or you can be in the live chat right now on twitch.tv/spotlightgamespod. Watch us live. Give us your thoughts and questions and concerns as we record live here on Twitch on Tuesdays. And then every episode is going to go live on your podcast app or YouTube Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Cayman, we have a new episode out of Save Trash Cinema. What did we save this week, or who did we talk to this week about the genre of trash?
Well, we did a little bit of both, actually. We did a live recording with none other than Keir Seward.
Yep.
One half of the Switchblade Cinema Group. He came on. He brought us the film, The Burning, which is a 1981 slasher film. Now, Patrick, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Patrick doesn't like spooky movies. He doesn't like super gory movies either. And this movie was both. So
it was. It sure was.
If you want to hear what we think about a bunch of sexy teenage camp counselors getting naked and getting murdered, well, tune into the episode. It's a fantastic time. Kier was an awesome guest host. Very happy to have him on the show with us. Had a great time recording. I think the episode, there's a little bit of audio issues with the episode. So if you haven't listened yet, just be aware. There's a little bit of, and we tried what we could to
it happens.
Do that. But outside of that, I think it's a very solid episode. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And if you haven't seen The Burning, but you want to watch the movie before you listen to the episode, guess what? Streaming on Tubi, like everything else we watch.
Yeah. It's also, there's a cool bit there because Kier is a filmmaker. So he gives some not behind those scenes, not behind the burning scenes, but filmmaking behind the camera.
Super interesting
theology and whatnot. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Go to listen. Out now, buy now, listen now. Cavemen, what I would normally do right now is say, you know what, Cavemen, we got news to get to, we got topics to get to. Why don't we talk about what we're playing? Because that's how we start each and every episode of the Spotlight Games podcast. But I want to do things a little different today.
Yes,
Cavemen, and I want to do things a little different in 2 ways. The first thing I want to do different is say hi to Sydney in the chat. Hey, Sydney. Woo, she says. Woo, she's a woo girl. She's a woo girl if I ever knew one. That's not true. Hi, Sydney. But then second, what I want to do is we are going to talk about what we're playing, but we're going to talk about a little bit more than what we've been playing. This last week, Xbox, you might have heard of them, Microsoft's own Xbox, started a little trend on Twitter in the gaming space that I thought was kind of fun. So I want to do that for our What We're Playing segment. So it's going to be 6 different questions that we're going to ask. So we're just going to go one by one. We'll pass it to each other. And then at some point, we're going to talk about what we're playing because that is one of the 6 questions. So I want to start it off by saying we're going back in time. We're putting our baby shoes on, Cavemen. What was the first game you ever played?
First game I ever played. The first game I can distinctly remember ever playing. I think that's the key here. Because who knows with my memory.
Yep, exactly.
First game I distinctly remember playing was Duck Hunt on the Super Nintendo.
Hell yeah.
With the light gun. As a wee boy, my uncle had a Super Nintendo, and one of the games he had obviously was Duck Hunt.
For sure.
And we used to play that together when I was a young boy. That's the first memory I have of gaming. How about you, Patrick?
So I thought about this. I was like, I have to. I'm really bad in life in general. People are like, what's the first anything in your life? And I will not have a clue. I guess firsts to me aren't special for whatever reason. But so what I did, I put on my I grabbed my what do you call that, magnifying glass. I got my little fedora and I did some detective work. And so what I think my guess would be, it is almost certain that my first game, it could have very well been Duck Hunt. It was definitely an NES game. So I'm going to play it safe and say it was probably Super Mario Bros. Or whatever. If there's a baseball game, I'm sure there were tons of baseball games on NES, but Dr. Mario was big in my house, but I think I was probably a little too young for Dr. Mario. So I'm going to say probably OG Super Mario Bros. Was the first game that I ever played.
That's safe.
It is likely the case.
Sure.
Kanan, what was the last game you played?
Last game I played was Live Alive.
Nice.
Which is on the Nintendo Switch right now. Just came out. Thank you, Patrick, for sending me a copy to be able to play.
Least I could do. Tell us about it though.
I'm not super far in, about 6 hours in so far. If you like retro JRPGs, this is a retro JRPG.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stunning to look at. Oh my God, the pixel art in this game is absolutely gorgeous.
I can't wait.
The music is incredible. And just the way the game is designed. You have 8 chapters. They're all very distinct. You still have your JRPG mechanics, but each chapter is insular of itself. And I think that that's a really cool mechanic we don't really see very often. From what I can tell so far, each chapter I've played and have completed has been around 2.5 hours to complete each one. it looks just a really interesting concept and an interesting idea for a game. And sure, the game did come out almost 30 years ago.
Sure.
But it's one of those where like it just has aged so well. And sure, it's a remaster and there's some little gameplay tweaks and stuff like that to make it a little bit more accessible. But ultimately, I think it's a really good game. I'll have a full review next week. My plan is by the end of the week, I will have the game completely finished. So I'll have a review next week for the full thing. But I can say right now, if you're interested, if you enjoyed something like Octopath Traveler, or you have fond memories of the older Final Fantasy games or the older Dragon Quest games, this game is probably going to be right up your alley. Ton of fun. And I would say probably, if I had to make a guess right now from also what I've seen on the internet, to complete it, it's about 20 to 25 hours, maybe 20 to 25 hours. So it's for a JRPG, that's honestly really short. Yeah. But in the world in which I'm living currently, in which I'm planning a wedding and I have no time, this is actually perfect. And on the Switch, makes it even better.
Hell yeah. I want to pull over for a second. I've thought of something because our glorious audience in the chat is answering the questions too. So I want to. We're gonna put it in reverse to go back to question number 1. What was the first game you ever played? And also, I see Terry Pendleton in the chat. Hi, Terry. I think this is the first time he's been here live, so that's exciting. Hi, Terry. But Sydney, or no, let's start with John. John in the chat says Math Blaster, Reading Rabbit, Oregon Trail. Honestly, Math Blaster could even be my answer too. That unlocked a memory in me that I totally forgot Math Blaster was a thing. Oregon Trail, I don't know that I ever played Oregon Trail much. I think I probably played it at least once or twice, but and then Sydney, this is another one. Like it very well could have even been Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis. Who's to say? But good answers there. So if you guys are still here in the chat, hit us with the last game you played, and once after I answer mine. Oh, here we go. Bubble Bobble for Terry. Woo. I've never played Bubble Bobble. Actually, I know for a fact I've never played Bubble Bobble. Love the name though. Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble. Okay, last game I played is Bully, the PS2 era game. I'm playing it on the PS4 right now. I've been playing this game, and I've come up with another segment that I want to do that we're not going to start today, but I want to do the segment, and I want to include our audience too. And I want us to maybe see if there's a game that they want to do this for. But the first one's going to be Bully because it's my idea and it's my show. God damn it. I want to do retro reviews every now and then. Not like almost like a video game book club. Think of it that way. So, what is an accessible retro game that we can play with our audience and talk about. So first one's going to be Bully. And this one, if no one in the audience wants to play Bully, I'll just do this one solo. But next time I want to open it up to the audience to see maybe what's a retro game that they might be interested in replaying together. But I've been having a blast playing this game. Is this game, are there a lot of problematic elements in a 2022 world? There sure as shit is. But just the gameplay itself, it's a Grand Theft Auto clone, but it's in a what do you call it, boarding school, and you play as a kid who just like transferred to this school, and there's factions, there's bullies, there's nerds, there's greasers. It's just a really like fun game, even though there's a lot of dialogue that if it were remade today wouldn't be okay. So that all that aside,
sure.
But yeah, so I've been playing Bully. So going to our chat, got some fun answers here. John playing Zuba. It's a mobile game. I don't know Zuba.
Never
heard of look into Zuba.
Apple Arcade question mark?
Apple Arcade question mark. John, let us know. Last game Terry played was Stray. Picked it up a few days ago, and I'm loving it so far. Nice. What a game. I need to go back to that and to get the platinum because love Stray. Sydney, Guitar Hero. Fuck yes. I would love to play some Guitar Hero.
We need a new Guitar Hero game.
We do.
Just the guitar. We don't need the drums. We don't need all that other nonsense. Just give us a fucking guitar.
You know what could be cool, and I wonder if it's currently in development, is if they were to do some sort of VR Guitar Hero.
Oh, that's an incredible idea. Honestly.
Could be cool. I don't know how it would work. Maybe but like if you
still get the guitar, you put the VR headset on, and it's like Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're a Beat Saber, but you're just playing the guitar right here.
Put me on stage at the Tabernacle in front of 100 to 200 of my best friends.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the capacity is of the tabernacle, but
it's probably like 2,000, 3,000.
Fuck. Okay. Great. Get 1,000 to 2,000 of my closest friends. Okay. So next up is your favorite game you've ever played. Question number 3, your favorite game you've ever played. And what I want to do with this question, Cavemen, I feel like we've talked about like the best game we've ever played a lot. Obviously, I talk about The Last of Us like every chance I get. Favorite gaming experience, not the best game you've ever played. What is your favorite gaming experience? And for you, it might be Bulletstorm, and if so, that's totally fine. I want to like, in case it starts getting into territory we've covered a lot on the show. Favorite gaming experience, game that you've ever played.
Honestly, I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. You ready?
Curve it.
If I had to choose like a game that would be like, hey, what's a game that you could play? Like, if you could only have one game to play.
I'm still featuring Sydney's Gone.
Katamari Damacy.
Great answer.
Look, the game has that addictive gameplay loop where you literally can just replay the levels over and over and over again, and it doesn't matter, right? You can just continue to play the game, and it's just so goddamn addictive. But the music is all about the music.
What a
and the
soundtrack.
Game is it's just so accessible. It's so much fun, and I just have such fond memories both when I first played it. When I was in like middle school, to even like in the last several months, like Sid and I sat down and we played it. She's all hooked in on Katamari, and it's just a beautiful game, man. It's just like a really good fucking game.
Yeah, totally agree. You got me that for Christmas, and I had a grand old time, a gay old time with Katamari.
Fun time.
I think my favorite gaming experience might be, honestly, I think either of them might be in high school. One of them honestly could be playing Resident Evil 4 with you on Wii when we were way babies, way back in the baby era. Wee babies. But also like Rock Band, just getting 4 people together to play Rock Band. Like, it was just, what an experience that was. We actually, a few months ago, I think I put it on our IGN, our Instagram. I was going to say IG and then on our Instagram. I played Rock Band at a friend's house recently, and it didn't quite have that same magic like it used to. I think there was just something about 10 years ago, games weren't where they are now. And
well, I mean, it's the same thing like Animal Crossing, right? Like,
sure,
Animal Crossing was one of those games like we were all stuck in home. There was no seeing each other for months, and we were all connected with Animal Crossing. It was a very special moment.
Good answer.
And I feel like video games are similar to that. Like, when we were, playing Switch Sports again, it was like, it just doesn't have the same feel. But it doesn't have the same feel. What I realized is that there was a very distinct moment in which it's me with my family sitting around the old box TV, slinging that Wii remote around bowling. And it's capturing lightning in a bottle. There's just moments and times where those things are going to hit differently. And I don't, we're just in a different place now.
For sure. Some from our chat, Sydney, Skyrim has a special place in her heart.
Fuck yeah.
What a great game. I actually didn't finish it again. I've never finished that game at this point because it's so big. But I talked about that several episodes ago at this point. Replaying that. John, favorite game, any Metroidvania game like Ori and Hollow Knight, Skyrim, and Fez. Also a great answer. I love me a Metroidvania. And then Terry, it's a tie between God of War 2018 and Uncharted 4. Runner-up would be The Last of Us 1 and 2. Terry, actually, he did a really cool thing with The Last of Us. He streamed, I don't remember if he streamed all of it, but he streamed a lot of it. And there was like a little group of us that would go and watch him play The Last of Us, and he was experiencing it for the first time, and it was a really really fun time watching him.
I wish I could experience both 1 and 2 again for the first time.
Same. That's another. We have a new question that John added. That might be another additional question. Yeah, Sydney. The only reason I finished it is because I started streaming it a few years back and made it my goal to finish it. Hey, maybe once I fucking know how to stream and there's actually sound for the 3 of you that were there last week, maybe I'll stream some Skyrim. Next question: what is the game you've played the most in your life?
Sure,
could be hours, could be numbers of times played, however you interpret that. Cavemen.
Yeah, number of times played. easily is Bulletstorm in terms of like cohesive, like one sit down experience.
Yeah.
I would say Bulletstorm. I think like discounting things like Rocket League or like games like even Evil Dead shit. I'll probably put like 50 hours into Evil Dead, which is Bennett and I. Like games like that, like set those aside because those are games that you just play. I mean, I guess you can include it. But for me, if I had to choose one that was like just a succinct experience for length, would be Skyrim.
Yeah.
I've beat Skyrim on both PS3, PS4, and Switch. And I've probably put a cumulative 300 plus hours into Skyrim in total, which I think for a game like that, like that's pretty fucking ridiculous.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But something like Rocket League, or if you're like into Call of Duty or something like that, sure, that's very easy to dump 300 hours. I'll probably put the same amount of time in Rocket League, which is Bennett and I.
Sure.
But I think just for me, the way I look at that question is more so like, what is a game that like I've just spent so much time in, and it's 100% probably Skyrim.
Yeah. If it was number of times, it'd probably be Last of Us for me.
Sure.
I played that game a lot of times. In terms of number of hours though, like, yeah, I think I agree with you. The multiplayer experiences I think are easy to fall on, and especially ones from my youth, like Gauntlet Legends or like Conker's Bad Fur Days multiplayer or like Madden, FIFA, like these ones that I would just play with my brothers for all summer. All we would do is play these games.
GoldenEye, shit like that.
Yeah, GoldenEye. But in terms of similar to yours, I think mine might be Oblivion on 360.
Okay.
Because I played that for hundreds of hours. I was like either 8th grade or freshman year. I forget which year it was, but old buddy of mine, James, over the summer, we would just we would wake up, play Oblivion until we went to bed all day. Yeah. And we would do that for multiple days in a row. So that's probably, I would think, the answer. And maybe Breath of the Wild might be up there too, because I played that so much that I broke my eyes and I've been dealing with eye issues ever since. But that's a story for a different day. In the chat, we have Halo franchise, Gears of War franchise, Fable franchise. Fable, that's a good one. I've played a lot of Fable in my life. I don't know that it would be it would crack the top though. Donkey Kong, another. Now, John, I need you to follow up though. Are we talking arcade Donkey Kong? Are we talking like 64? Are we talking country? I need some.
It's got to be country, right? You'd assume it's got to be country. Right?
I don't know. Could be. I think we can safely say it's not 64 or Donkey Konga, but we'll see. What's the game you want to play next? It doesn't have to be one that's about to come out, but like, what's your most anticipated game right now?
Yeah. So most anticipated game, I think is gonna be God of War.
Sure.
In terms of like just big experience, definitely God of War. I'm excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like once I'm done with Live Alive, like I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like a smart move because I can play in bed or on the couch. And with my schedule being so tight lately, something on the Switch makes it a lot easier to be able to dump a ton of time into something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I had to choose though, if you put a gun in my head, God of War. How about you?
So I think God of War is definitely up there. I'm actually, I am shocked to report, Cavemen, and I'm going to use this as a way to talk about a little bit of a piece of news that we got, in that we got the first 16 minutes of gameplay from Gotham Knights, and it got me. This is the first time they've shown it where I'm like, I am actually genuinely excited for this game now.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
And I think the reason that it got me is because this is the first time we've seen extended Batgirl gameplay. And they said from the beginning, like Batgirl will feel the most like OG Arkham, like you're playing as Batman.
Yeah.
And seeing Red Hood and seeing Nightwing, neither of them did anything for me. Sure. But I like the way that Batgirl looks. I like what her combat looks like, and I love the Arkham games. So that kind of skyrocketed for me. That I'm pretty excited for that now, based on what I saw. But like, yeah, I think it's got to be Ragnarok. Terry in the chat, Ragnarok. And then to answer the last question, two things about last question. We got clarification, country 1 and 2 for John. So you were right there. And yeah, the music. Are you kidding me? Aquatic ambience. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? And then Terry, Uncharted series and Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, like if we're talking series, Assassin's Creed is easily the most played series for me. I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed. What is a game that you would show a caveman? This is the final one from Xbox. What is a game you would show a caveman?
So I have two answers.
Okay.
So the first answer is just based on simplicity alone.
Okay.
If I were to hand a caveman a controller and we're just going ooga booga and doing our caveman talk,
Yeah.
right? And I just hand him a controller, just touch these buttons. It would 100% be Journey.
Ooh.
I think that is one of the most simplistic games to get your hands on. There's no real consequence for not being good. It's just a good game. Okay, it's not a good game. It's an incredible game.
Yeah.
And so I think I would go, for simplicity's sake, I would go with Journey. However, if I had to choose a game, and let's say not Caveman, but like, let's say Benjamin Franklin or someone like that, right?
Famously a caveman, actually.
Famously a caveman too, yes. All of his nude sunbathing. Would you be like, okay, hey, look, this is what the future looks like. Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, sure.
Because one, it tells a very compelling story.
Yeah.
And two, graphically, it is just one of the most beautiful games I think have come out in the last few years. And so I think that would be like, if you were going to just show someone, actually, even better would be like, if you were to show like 10-year-old Cayman, like baby gamer Cayman, a game and be like, this is what your future is. Ghost of Tsushima would be the game I would hand my younger self. And be like, just go ham.
I think Ghost of Tsushima would give a caveman a heart attack. I think it would be so overwhelming. Because when I first saw this question, I was thinking it was like something like Super Mario Galaxy, something really, really pretty could be cool to show like, but like I think it would just be so overwhelming that it would just fall over. So I mean, maybe Pong, maybe start them off at the beginning, but maybe show them something, or like in with your thinking, just like what is the prettiest game ever, and like honestly Ghost of Tsushima is probably in the top like 5, so that's a good one. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to Nintendo. I'm gonna show them Super Mario Galaxy.
Could you imagine, Patrick, you're 8 years old, right? You've cut your teeth playing GoldenEye with your brothers. Someone walks up to you, your future self walks up to you, and you're like, wow, I'm now really hairy and fat. Not you, me. Well, I'm not hairy. I'm just fat.
I was at the doctor today. What's the problem? I'm getting too much weight.
And so you walk up and you just hand them a PS5 controller and you're like, here's The Last of Us Part 2. And you just watch your little kid brain just melt out of your ears. Just fucking pour out of your ears. Dead. Yeah. Dead. Just right there on the spot. Fucking keeled over.
That's oh boy. John brought up another question, and do you remember there was a minute ago I was like that we should add that question. What was the other question we were going to add? Do you remember?
The question about the anticipation, or not anticipation? The question about which game we would excel at.
Well, yeah. So that's John's question, but there was another one that we came up with as we were talking. I was like, "Ooh, we have John's, and then let's add this one." But I forget it. It's gone. If someone in the chat remembers it, drop it in there. But I love this question from John. So we're adding this. What game did you excel most at? I have a good answer for this, but I want to hear you.
So I would go with Burnout 3 Takedown.
Nice.
I was just really fucking good at this game. And I would play online all the time. I didn't have a copy. My cousin did on the Xbox 360. Well, I did for the PlayStation 2, but the online wasn't very good. And so we play on the 360 all the time on his console and we play online. And I would just go in and absolutely crush everyone. I
forgot that game had an online mode.
Diabolical at that game.
Yeah.
You do not want to fuck with me. I knew all the tricks to take out everyone whenever I could.
What a game.
You know?
Like, are you kidding me? What a game.
What a fuck. We need to bring Burnout back.
We really need to bring Burnout back. There's been a couple people that have tried to recreate the magic of Burnout. But we just need Burnout Takedown or Revenge back. That's all we need. That's all we need. John's answer: Def Jam Fight for New York college competition show. I was the best. What a game! Def Jam Fight for New York.
Game.
Bring that back too.
Yeah.
A wrestling game hidden in Def Jam Records with an awesome story mode. Like what a cool. Oh, I love that.
And the soundtrack fucking was a banger, bro.
Love Def Jam Fight for New York. My answer. Do you remember a game came in? This is on the Xbox PS2 generation of consoles. GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
I do indeed.
So GoldenEye Rogue Agent was like an attempt at a reboot of that franchise, but like almost like a spiritual successor in a way. And somehow, I don't know how. I mean, let me see how old this game is. Let's see, GoldenEye.
It was like it was so underrated as well.
It was so underrated.
It was like a genuinely good game.
2004 November, so I would have been 12, turning 13, and somehow I was ranked 20th in the world in this game.
Holy
on Xbox Live.
shit.
I don't remember, like, I don't know how, but I played that game. So if it came out in November, this is probably the summer of 2005 that I was playing. Because I remember one summer I just played it religiously, and I learned what leaderboards were, and I was like, I want to try to get to the top of leaderboards, and the highest I could get was 20th.
That's fucking incredible, though.
Yeah, so that's like the only time I've been good at video games was GoldenEye Rogue Agent. That's it. Those are the questions. That was a fun segment. If there are any other questions that we want to address in the chat, let us know. And then also, if you're listening after the fact, write in with your answers. What's the first game you played, the last game you played, your favorite game you've ever played, the game you've played the most in your life, the game you want to play next, the game you would show a caveman, and then the special guest question from John: what is the game that you excelled most at? So let us know. I do want to quickly also mention before we jump into the rest of the show, I've been playing Ollie Ollie World as well on Switch. And if you've ever played Ollie Ollie World or Ollie Ollie, or just Ollie Ollie was the original on Vita, great game. So I'll talk more about that next week, but I'm really enjoying it on Switch. So Cavemen, let's jump in to the show. We got to start us off before we jump into the news. We got to start off addressing an elephant in the room. Last week, both of us said something, and it needs to be addressed.
And then a game that will 100% never come out, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Oh boy.
I will be shocked if that game ever comes out. If you're currently working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, send me a copy of anything. It could be a trailer, it could be an asset. I just want to know that it's a real thing.
I would be shocked to know if anyone has actually put any effort or work towards this game in the last 6 years. I mean, that's just the truth.
Prove us wrong, Ubisoft.
That is a challenge, Yves Gilmore.
Well, Cavemen, Yves answered the challenge. Ubisoft answered the challenge in a way. They didn't announce anything. They didn't announce anything. But Tom Henderson, who is a journalist in the games industry, like the morning after or that night, tweeted the following. He said, "Oh, that's not right. Well, I put the wrong link in the doc." Basically, he said, as of a month ago, they're doing QA. Like they've officially brought in a QA team. And then, as of a week ago, they brought in a QA team. And then as of yesterday, he has played the game, apparently. He was like, send me your questions. I've played Beyond Good and Evil 2. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on, Tom. You're killing me. So
I don't know.
Do I believe him? I don't know.
This is the most elaborate and wrongly timed April Fool's prank I've ever heard of.
I think somehow the Spotlight Games podcast crossed Yves' desk.
It was like the time where I was like, hey, Activision's going to be bought out by Microsoft. And I was
like, fuck off. No way. And then 3 days later, for $70 billion, they did. But yeah, so that happened, which I just thought was funny. That,
you know, I will say this, audience, if there's anything that you want us to say on air, just tell us, because the likelihood that it's the reverse is going to happen is probably really high.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. So let's jump into some news, Cavemen. Let's start with some Rockstar news. So Rockstar Games, the developers of the aforementioned Bully that I'm currently playing, but Red Dead Redemption, all the Grand Theft Autos, probably the most successful game studio in history, because they have like the top 3 selling games of all time or something like that. But a piece came out from Bloomberg that is really long. So I would recommend, if you're interested at all in the next segment that we're doing here, go give Jason the click and the read, because it's a really interesting piece. But I've put it down into bullet points. Essentially, Rockstar Games has course corrected their studio, their company culture, which has long been described as a boys club. And in the process, this kind of news that current and former Rockstar employees spoke to Jason about. We also got some details about Grand Theft Auto 6, so I thought we could talk about both of them. So like I said, Bloomberg, to check out the full article, but this is, at a glance, the company shift that they've had. So they've made the decision and they've put in place different kind of efforts to cancel tone deaf game modes that were currently in development, such as a mode called Cops and Crooks, which is a twist on the children's game where players organize into teams of good guys of the police, which is that true? ACAB, and the bad guys. So they cut that mode. It was in development. They cut that, and they're like, you know what? This is a bit tone deaf. They've gone back and removed transphobic jokes from GTA 5, which we love that. Obviously, they haven't touched bully because I have some things to report on that. They significantly narrowed its gender pay gap. I'd love to say that there's parity now, but significantly narrowed, I guess, is better than not narrowing. They've restructured the design department to reduce crunch, which, if you're unfamiliar, crunch is long overtime to get a game out as fast as possible. They've converted contractors to full-time employees so that they can have benefits. They've removed several employees that have been reported as being abusive. Love to see that they've been removed. You know what I mean? They have new mental health and leave benefits. They have new flex time, which this is a cool one. Flex time, it's a policy which converts every hour of overtime into an hour of PTO. So that's pretty cool.
Fucking incredible.
So love seeing that. Like Rockstar, a couple years ago, I think it was like 2018 or 2019, there were a lot of pieces about how bad it was to work at Rockstar, and people were working like 120-hour weeks. So all of that to say, I just wanted to start by saying it seems like things are changing for the better at Rockstar, so you love to see that. And then beneath all that, we also, like I said, got some details about GTA 6. So here's some really fun, cool information about the next Grand Theft Auto, which we might be seeing in the next few years. So there's going to be 2 playable protagonists, Cavemen. One of them is a Latina woman, and there's no details on the other person. But I think it's probably safe to assume it's a man. And their story is strongly influenced by Bonnie and Clyde. So there are going to be some Bank Robin folks in. They don't specifically say Vice City, but they say it's a fictional version of Miami. So like, it's got to be Vice City. I don't think they would be making up a new version of Miami. Another interesting thing that kind of ties back to the top of the story, which is they are being cautious and actively avoiding not punching down by making jokes about marginalized groups in contrast to previous games. All signs suggest GTA 6 will feel very different than its predecessor, partially because a game franchise that is centered around satirizing America will be coming out in a time where a vast majority of people already view America as a living satire at the moment, which is really interesting. And I want to come back to that. A way they plan on combating crunch is to continually update the game over time. So they're not going to release the game in full up front. They're going to, I think they'll probably release the majority of it, but then they're going to be adding in new missions and new cities, which is really interesting. New cities on a regular basis. And there's also more interior locations than previous GTA games. And then apparently, according to this article, industry analysts expect this game between April 23rd and April of 2023 and March of 2024. But the developers at Rockstar are skeptical, thinking that the game is at the very least 2 years out right now. So the 2 things that I want to talk about came in, and then, if there's anything that you want to jump in on, let's talk about it. But 2 things that are really interesting to me are multiple cities. So apparently this will be the first time that we've seen a GTA game like outside of one city. But then also, which I think this is a good thing, but the developer is being cautious to not punch down by making jokes, and that this is not going to be a satirization of America because they feel that America is already a satire. So it's like, I wonder, and I'm curious, what do you think? Like, do you think this is going to feel like a GTA game? So, like, or do you think this is going to be a departure from what we think and know?
Okay, so I think if I had to start by like referencing something from the real world, I remember distinctly in like 2016, 2017, after Donald Trump was elected president, a lot of comedians came out were like, look, there's no reason for us to be making fun of Donald Trump. Reason being is because he's an easy target. Yeah. Like everything that comes out of his mouth is fucking stupid. And he is a joke of a human. To make fun of him is just saying normal things that he normally says. It's not funny anymore. And I kind of understand where they're coming from with this. Like, you don't need to satirize America when America's already fucking doing it themselves. Like, we are becoming a punchline just with our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And I can see where they're coming from with that, where it's just like, if you do that, it would just be like, yeah, we deal with this normally.
Yeah.
And it becomes a certain point where you're just like, yeah, I'm tired of that. Like, I don't want that anymore. So I get why they would change that. I still think it's going to feel like a Grand Theft Auto game, though.
Yeah.
Like, I still think the humor is going to be very Grand Theft Auto. It just probably will be more in line with some of their previous Grand Theft Auto entries. Probably something more along the lines of like Liberty City or even Vice City or maybe San Andreas. Like one of those games where, sure, they're still poking fun of the way that we live our lives and stuff. It just won't be as on the nose as maybe GTA 5 was.
Sure.
And that makes sense. And I agree with that.
A little more of a serious tone, but like still with some comedy in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely going to be, it's still going to be a funny game. I just don't think that it's like, I mean, shit, even something like Red Dead Redemption 2 had hilarious moments.
That's true.
But I could definitely see, like, I mean, and even in Grand Theft Auto 5, there were some very dark and heavy moments in that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit, Red Dead Redemption 2 proved that like Rockstar can make a very serious game.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's better for them to do that. But I still think the game is going to have very funny moments and it'll still feel like a Grand Theft Auto game. Now, with the inclusion of the new mission cities on a regular basis, part of me is wondering whether or not that's going to be specifically held to GTA 6 online, where they'll be like, hey, on like just the online mode, like we have a straightforward, narrow story for our main two protagonists. And that's going to be the story you get in the city. Now, online, you will now be able to go to Liberty City. You'll be able to go to Los Santos. You'll be able to go to wherever, around the world or in these states, whatever. So I'm wondering if like maybe that's what they do. And honestly, like I actually kind of think that that's a better idea. Like don't get me wrong, I think it'd be cool like if you could cross country trek and like hit banks and shit along the way. That just seems like a lot.
Sure.
And I don't think realistically that actually makes for a good game. Like I think the concept is cool, but I don't know if that'll actually make a good game. It seems, like overreaching, like you're trying to fit too much in or trying to do too much when it would be better for them to have a more focused story and then save that other content for GTA Online where you have your own character who doesn't just exist within this one narrative. Like you can do all this other stuff.
What do you think about the idea of, so, we've talked recently about Assassin's Creed Infinity. It's going to be more of like a living, breathing Assassin's Creed where they're going to add new worlds, new games, whatever. Supposedly, this is what the reporting is saying. What do you think about the idea of Grand Theft Auto 6 being simply Grand Theft Auto? And it becomes like, think of it like Destiny, right? So like the first iteration for the first 4 years is this Vice City version. And then for $60 or $70 in 5 years, you can get like the new expansion essentially, which is going to be like its own new game.
Yeah.
So to the point where there'll be a time where there's like 3 or 4 Grand Theft Auto games all wrapped within this one package.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I like that idea in the sense that like what Ubisoft was going to be doing with Assassin's Creed Infinity, where you create your own character. So like if it works in something like Destiny where there is a story, but you are the character in the story.
Good point.
If you were to be like, hey, you're going to just be playing as these two characters for this story. And then in a year's time or 6 months time or 9 months time, whatever, however long between expansions, it's like, okay, now you have the next expansion. And then that just kind of feels like either you're cheapening the original story or you're just continuing to release new games just under the same umbrella. Sure. I think it's better if you do it something like GTA Online where it's like, hey, you can jump into this expansion. Your character will just automatically be leveled up to X. You'll get X amount of dollars, whatever you need for it. And then you can move it. But even then at that point, I'm not sure if Grand Theft Auto fits, like the gameplay style fits like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Where I think like something like Destiny or even something like Division, where you're getting these like big story moments, like your character still fits within that world. But that's the thing is it's your character. It's not some already pre-developed character. So I think that works better like that. Maybe not a full like series with just two people.
Sure. That's a really good point. But yeah, I love Grand Theft Auto. Like I haven't played 5 since it first came out, really. Back in what 2011, something like that. But I'm excited for a new Grand Theft Auto. So I will definitely we'll be talking about it a fair amount on this show as we learn more and more in the coming months. Cayman, what if I told you
Yes.
that there is a game out right now in beta that I am having a great time playing?
Really?
MultiVersus.
I didn't know you were playing.
So I forgot to put it in the what I've been playing because I knew I remembered I was going to be talking about it during this segment. I have a little bit of a reviews roundup for MultiVersus. If you're unfamiliar with MultiVersus, this is the WB Games, basically their version of a Smash Bros. Killer. They're taking their WB properties, your Batmans, your Bugs Bunnies, your Jake and Finn from Adventure Times, your like all those Arya Stark, Velma, Tom and Jerry, and it is Smash Bros. Like they're not trying to make it anything other than Smash Bros. So I pulled these 2 reviews, one from IGN and one from Push Square. The first, a 7 out of 10 from IGN's John Carson. MultiVersus is a raucous and fun competitive platform fighter that rewards players for learning the strengths and weaknesses of its eclectic cast of characters and working as part of a team. Its focus online 2v2 means it lacks the pick up and play nature of games like Smash Bros, but it also does a nice job of setting it apart from other games in the genre. MultiVersus may need time to grow its currently limited selection of stages and characters to meet its bright potential, but its foundations are already rock solid. And then the staff of Push Square, this isn't one singular person, the staff of Push Square gave it an 8 out of 10 and says, even in open beta, MultiVersus is a worthy competitor to Super Smash Bros. While it may not be able to quite match the scope and production values of Nintendo's flagship platform fighter, its gameplay goes toe-to-toe with its incredibly established rival. And its excellent netcode completely outshines it. The most exciting thing is that this release is guaranteed to grow over time, and with the Warner Bros. Vault practically bursting with iconic IP, this is one live service that looks to have a lot of life left in it. And that, I think Push Square nails it. I am not a Smash guy. I'm not a multiplayer brawler guy. You like Smash, right?
Meh. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fighter guy.
Okay.
You know, I'll play it though. That's fun.
So this is actually, it's free to play right now. It's in beta. It's an open beta. And Push Square has a line, its excellent net code completely outshines it. This game is fully cross-play, cross-platform, cross-progression. I started on my Xbox in the living room, played it for like 30 minutes just to try it on like Sunday, I think. And then today I was in my office, I was taking lunch. I was like, let me see if it does cross-platform, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it worked seamlessly. Immediately had all my progress. And it's a ton of fun. Like it feels like Smash. I've never been into Smash. Those of you that know me personally, I don't know that I might have talked about this on the show. Smash, for whatever reason, we just never had as kids. Sure. And so the first time I played Smash was in college. And so I just totally missed the boat. And because of that, I never really got into it. But this might be a game that I actually play for a bit. I don't know that it's going to keep me around, but it's really fun. Like the 2v2, I think really works. I will say it is pretty content light, but I think all it plans to be is an online brawler. So there isn't like, the Smash Bros on the Wii had like a story mode. Like there's nothing like that. It's just online play and like tutorials and whatnot. But does this game interest you at all? Do you think you'll play this?
I mean, during beta form, I might. One of the things I did see online was like, hey, it is light on content, and you right off the bat, you're given like enough coins to be able to unlock another character. But outside of that, like you have to play a lot to be able to get enough coins to get the next character, or you have to pay like $140 to unlock everything. That's I think the biggest drawback to me right now is just like I don't like is it going to be something that I want to spend money on, and I'm just not sure if a game like this is one that I do.
Yeah, I will say it. So you start with Finn from Adventure Time. You start with Superman, Wonder Woman, a character from Steven Universe, Garnet. I think I've not watched Steven Universe. and that might be it. It's like 4 or 5 that you start with of the like 15 characters, and it costs 3,000 coins to unlock somebody, or like 800 of their like real cash currency. I've played probably 2 hours so far, and I have like 2,000 coins, but a lot there are some like missions that you can complete at the very beginning that give you like 1,000 coins, and so like those now it's just things for like 100. So I got close to 3,000 quickly, but yeah, I think it'll take me time to unlock anybody else, and I still don't have enough to unlock one person. So that could be the thing. Like I might get tired of playing as Superman and Finn. So we'll see, but it's fun. If you are a Smash person, if you like these kind of platform brawlers, check it out. It's free to play. I think it's on everything. It might not be on Switch, but I think it's on everything else. But yeah, check it out. Cavemen.
Yes.
I know you are a Mario Kart boy.
I do love my Mario Kart.
Walk us through what these new updates we got in the world of Mario Kart.
All right. So last week, Nintendo announced the next 2 cups being released for Mario Kart 8 as part of the planned 6 waves of courses being released. Wave 2 is coming this week on Friday, August 4th, which will be the day after you listen to this if you're listening to it on podcast. And here's what we will be able to play. This is the Turnip Cup you get from Mario Kart Tour New York Minute. From the NES, the SNES, Mario Circuit 3, the N64's Calamari Desert, and from DS Waluigi Pinball. And then part of the Propeller Cup from Mario Kart Tour Sydney Sprint, from the GBA Snowland, from the Wii Mushroom Gorge, and then Sky High Sunday, which is Wave 2's brand new course.
Really exciting.
You know, I really enjoy the fact that we're going to get Waluigi Pinball. That was one of my favorite courses on the DS version.
I never played the DS version, so I'm really excited.
Version was great.
Yeah.
DS version was great. It was still in that time when you could just play the game, and then if you were good enough at the game, you could unlock characters still.
Yeah.
That time's passed. You know?
Yeah.
That sucks, but I'm glad that at least we're getting some stuff like this.
That's true.
Because Waluigi Pinball is just such a fun, weird.
It looks cool.
Course. Also, my boy Waluigi.
Yeah, come on. That's on screen right now for our video listeners or video watchers. Yeah, I never had any of the handheld Mario Kart. So anytime they add handheld levels, I'm really excited for that. And then of course, Sky High Sunday. With every of these waves, they're giving us one brand new course. When the first wave came out, I played it for a couple days, couple weekends, and had a blast with it. So I'm really looking forward to this new next wave. Cavemen, I took the liberty to talk to our audience. And for those of you in the chat, if you didn't answer, I know at least one of you already has answered, but any of the, I put on our socials, my brain just melted for a second. I put on our socials, I want to ask you the same question, Cavemen. If you could have Nintendo make a course for Mario Kart with a theme, because we got Waluigi Pinball, we got Wario Stadium, we got Hyrule Castle. A lot of the times we got F-Zero. They have themes that are based on either a game franchise or a character. So I want to ask you, Cavemen, and then we're going to go to our audience. What is a character or a game or a theme within the Mario Nintendo sphere that you would love to see in one of these next waves have a brand new course built around?
Nintendo, a Mad World theme. Could you imagine that?
It is a black and white.
All black and white.
That actually would be really sick.
Every time you hit anyone, just red blood spews out in like massive fountains.
That would be sick. It will never happen.
Even if you didn't have any blood, just throw in one of the Mad World rap songs that was part of that soundtrack, which soundtrack was one of the best soundtracks of any video games. Good. And just all black and white with that cool ass art style. If I had to go like real world though, DeKalb Ave in Atlanta.
It would just be
you're fucking everywhere. Launching yourself off of potholes into the sky, in the stratosphere, or
that's great.
Just a course that's just one continuous loop, in a circle right in front of the Quick Trip on Peachtree Street.
Yeah.
And every other time you play it, 2 homeless dudes beat the ever living shit out of each other in front of your car.
Katie, a friend of ours in the chat, or not in the chat, on socials, gave a very similar answer. She said her theme would be donuts at 10th and Piedmont. The third time around, you have to look out for new metal plates on the ground, and which is very good. But I said, she said donuts on 10 the Piedmont. This new track, Sky High Sunday, it's dessert. You know, it might not be donuts per se, but
hey,
in a roundabout way, we're kind of there. John in the chat says Mario/Sonic Makeout Mountain. I don't know that they would make them make out, but Mario, I mean, a Mario and Sonic themed, that'd be kind of cool. I wonder if they would ever do, they probably wouldn't. I wonder if they would ever do any sort of Sonic within Mario Kart. Since Sonic has its own racer, probably not.
Like, Sonic doesn't need a race car, though.
This is what pisses that's kind of fun if he just ran himself.
It's just, yeah, if you're gonna have Sonic in a Mario Kart game, he doesn't get a cart. He just has to run.
I love that.
Gotta go fast.
You love that. Sydney might still be in the chat, but she put into socials naked, which brings us back to she's bringing it back with that reference to our old. There's an old episode about that. Elliot, a Paper Mario course. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Paper Mario would be dope. A listener who must not be named for legal purposes, Bowser's lower intestine. Dear God. This wasn't Cavemen, but it sounds like something Cavemen would say.
That sounds like some shit I'd say for sure.
And then Nick, friend of the show, Super Mario RPG, either the forest level or the Smithy Castle.
You forgot to add in one that came through super late from Jade, old listener Jade, who said Resident Evil 3.
We are bringing it back in this segment. Love that. Resident Evil 3. I mean,
that's it. It's just you just play Resident Evil 3.
Yeah. My answer, I think, it'd be pretty cool if there's a Pokemon themed level.
Oh, that would be dope. Yeah.
And bring Pikachu. Let Pikachu be a
could you imagine just like if you took like a Pokemon Snap level and just let you Mario Kart?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fucking wild.
The one thing that these waves are missing, because like it's awesome. We're getting 6 new tournaments. We're getting a lot of new content for free, you know, in quotes. If you're a Nintendo Online member, then you get it. But new characters. I'm surprised we're not getting a single new character with this. And I wonder if phase or wave 5 or 6, if they're going to be like, and this time we're going to give you a new character. You're going to finally getting Dry Bones.
It's about fucking time.
But yeah, I'm excited. I love Mario Kart. John, another one, Yoshi Island map. I know there is a Yoshi map from N64. I don't know if that's in Mario Kart 8, but a Yoshi Island specific, like with that art style. Are you kidding?
Okay, hold up. What about remember the Yoshi Yarn game?
Whoa,
what was it called?
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World map would be fucking dope.
That would be so good. Because Mario Kart 8 is like maybe one of the, if not the prettiest game on Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me that Woolly World.
Give it to me.
Give it to me, baby. So yeah, Mario Kart 8 out in just 2 short days. As of recording, it's going to be out on the 4th. So check it out. Let us know what you think. Cavemen, we're already at an hour. Can you believe it?
I can't. This is going by fast.
Oh, we're just zipping by. This next one is just it's kind of just a punchline. So IGN reported, I think this came from the 6th Axis originally, but apparently PS5 is killing the Accolades feature, Cavemen. To which I say, what the fuck is the Accolades feature?
I have no fucking idea.
This is a feature I've literally never heard about. But apparently it is a system where you can, like, in multiplayer, you can like give awards. Like, it's an award-based system.
Oh,
that you can do online.
This thing. I got one once.
Really?
Yeah. For
being a son of a bitch?
It said helpful. I don't even remember what game it was.
Interesting, Kim.
All right, cool.
Interesting. So yeah, that's that. I just what a weird thing. Weird. Last topic for the show, and let's kind of breeze through this one because I think we talked pre-show. There's not a whole lot here really, but Annapurna had a summer showcase last week, and they announced some shit. And so I figure what we could do, we can just kind of breeze through the announcements. Cavemen, if you wouldn't mind going through, and I'm gonna follow along with the YouTube video.
All right, so this was on Thursday. Annapurna Interactive had a summer showcase, providing updates and new announcements for games they've published and will be publishing. And here are just a few of those highlights. The first is gonna be Thirsty Suitors, which is an action-adventure RPG about fighting your exes, disappointing your parents, and finding yourself. You play Jala, a daughter of immigrants with extremely high expectations. The game weaves narrative choice with skateboarding gameplay and turn-based combat. It's coming to Steam the PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox Game Pass, but no release window given yet. And this game looks cool. They haven't really shown us anything new in the video that they did, but it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Next up is going to be Hindsight. A game called Hindsight is coming to Switch and Steam this Friday. So it's actually live right now. The trailer was very much a mood setter. Not totally sure what the gameplay will be, but looks like a heavy story about dealing with the loss of a loved one. This sounds real sad, Patrick.
It sounds real. It looks real sad. I might stay away from this one.
We also saw a developer spotlight about the game creators of Kentucky Route Zero making a brand new game. We literally learned nothing about it, but those the people working on the game look like some cool dudes.
Yeah,
just so they got great facial hair, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Next up is going to be Bounty Star, the morose tale of Graveyard Clem.
This seems like a Cavemen game to me.
It does, doesn't it? A game where you play in a Mech Gundam-looking thing, but it's set in a decrepit Western locale. It looks pretty cool, and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, PS4, PS5, and Steam. Next up is another developer spotlight on Atlanta and Austin. Yeah, based called Yarn Owl is the developer. Yeah, look, Austin, Texas is cool, but we're from Atlanta, so It's a 2-person studio. We only saw a few clips of the game, but what we saw looked really cool, and I got to support that homegrown game. So we will definitely be keeping our eye out for this one. Next up is more information about Outer Wilds. They are still working on the Switch port of Outer Wilds, but announced that on September 15th, the game will be coming to PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X natively with 60 frames per second. If y'all haven't played Outer Wilds, this should definitely be on your radar. Next up is going to be The Pathless, which is currently on PlayStation, and it is coming to Xbox and Switch this winter. Patrick, have you ever played this game?
So I played about 15 minutes of The Pathless, and it was cool. I wasn't feeling it, and I need to go back. That's a game that I might play that relatively soon because I'm kind of looking for another game to play. So that might be
that's kind of how I feel. So next up is going to be Maquette. This was a PS Plus game last year. This winter is coming to Xbox Game Pass and Switch. It's a really cool puzzle game with a really unique premise. Sid and I played a little bit of it. Just neither one of us are puzzle people. So there's like a lot of really cool aspects of the game. And I definitely think that if you are into puzzles, like keep your eye out for this because it is really interesting.
Yeah. And it plays with like space and size. Like that might not make sense, but it's pretty cool if you like puzzle games. So check it out.
And then next up is going to be Solar Ash. This one's coming out to Xbox Game Pass this winter and Steam on December 6th. Solar Ash is currently on PlayStation, correct, Patrick?
It is. Yep.
It is. Okay, cool.
I think it was a PlayStation Plus game recently.
Oh, maybe
because I own it. I didn't buy this game, but I own it.
Oh, well, I probably do too. All right. Next up is going to be What Remains of Edith Finch. Now, this excites me. It is now available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X with a free upgrade. And look, the game already looked incredible as is. But with this, new high def, fresh coat of paint. So like if you've never played What Remains of Edith Finch, this game is fucking phenomenal.
It's so good. If you're looking for if you're looking to just weep and just ugly cry the night away, play What Remains of Edith Finch.
And it's only like maybe 4 hours total to get through it. So like it's a pretty short. You can do it in one sit down.
Yeah,
it's such a good game.
So
all right, next up is gonna be Flock. A game reveal of a very cute naturey game that looked like flour mixed with ho-ho cum, Santa Claus's sperm. If you remember either of those games from back in the day on PlayStation, guess what? It's coming to everything at some point. So if you want a little Santa Claus cum in your nose, guess what? Because ho-ho cum is coming again. All right. This is a really weird-ass game. And it's coming to PC now. So
it's so weird that this game looked so much like Hohokum, and then the next thing they showed was Hohokum coming to PC. But yeah, this is you're literally playing as like a rainbow sperm.
All right, next up, and this was the one that excites me. However, very little news about it. Katamari Damacy creator showed off their next game. But we only saw literally 5 seconds of it. It looks super fucking cute. I don't give a flying fuck what this game's about. I will be playing it day one. So, Kita Takahashi is just a beautiful bastard, and we love what he does. All right, and last up in this showcase was The Lost Wild. I have a lot of thoughts on this one, Patrick. It is a first-person, looks like a survival game.
Yeah.
However, you're playing with motherfucking dinosaurs.
Dinos.
It looks like Outlast meets Jurassic Park, a survival horror game where the monsters are dinosaurs. And I think I can say for both of us, count us in. That's I think the one thing, like we really haven't had like an actual like Jurassic Park game since I want to say like the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, we had the old.
We've had the Jurassic Park the Jurassic Park
like park simulator.
Park simulators, and those games are cool. Jurassic Park Evolution, they've got a sequel out. I didn't play the sequel, but you can pick up the first one for super cheap right now. It's worth picking up if you like park simulators. It's a really cool game. But this is what I want more of. Like, look, Jurassic Park is a fantastic IP. I don't understand why this game hasn't been created with the name Jurassic Park on the title.
I agree. Like, it's kind of shocking.
We don't need, and I think Jurassic Park, like if you're going to make a Jurassic Park game, I think it works best if it is a survival game with very minimal combat or options for you to have combat.
Yeah.
Because like, let's be honest, like you give like a pistol and you're going to try to take out a dinosaur, go fuck yourself, bud.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Where's Mike? Where's Boston Mike right now? Because I know he's out there being like, let me tell you what my favorite dinosaur is, bro. It's a fucking, and he'll name it off. If I say the wrong name, he'll find me.
We'll have another court next week.
We'll have another court.
I don't know that we have time for that right now.
I think this game is going to be a game that I know for a fact Boston Mike is going to be playing day one.
Yeah.
And good for him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. The only other Jurassic World or Jurassic Park game I can think of, Telltale, I believe, did a Jurassic Park game, but like right before they kind of broke ground with the Walking Dead game. So it was like in their older style where it was like really, really simple. And it wasn't as like, I'm pretty sure they did a Jurassic Park game. I could be misremembering. But,
interesting.
But yeah, no, for sure. We need more, because like the only other dino game really, like there's Horizon, but they're robots and they're not really dinos. There's Ark, but like, that's not a game for me. That's not a Patrick game.
You are correct. Called Jurassic Park the Game from Telltale. And it looks atrocious.
It was reviewed horribly because I think it was their last game they did before The Walking Dead. And
it did not do very well. Yikes.
Oh yeah, John Turok. There was a new Turok game that came out kind of recently. It's kind of more like that Ark style where it's like it's an online games as a service, which like yes, there is value in that game. Genre is just not for me. I like
it, but to my point though, like Turok. Look, I used to play Turok all the time on the N64, but like once again, like I feel like if you're doing a Jurassic Park game, it needs to be more exploration with less combat. And don't get me wrong, like I like combat more than like survival horror. But I think if you're gonna set a game in the world of like Jurassic Park or dinosaurs, like the likelihood of you surviving is just very low.
Yeah.
Now, if you got those little ones, remember in Jurassic Park 3, the little dinos that ate the girl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We need more kid deaths in movies, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. More kids need to die in movies, guys.
Yeah. Well, look, at the rate that the planet is dying, I think we can just leave it at, I'm not going to say it. That's going to be against one day.
I will say this. I'll do one last hot take before I get booted from this show. And that is that if I had to rank them all, it would go Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, burn all of the rest of the movies.
Jurassic Park 3 gets a lot of hate, and that movie actually fucks.
That movie was good.
Yeah, that movie's a great movie. When you realize that they're in a cage, whew.
Ooh, that scene, fuck, man.
Yeah,
we need more of that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, those are a bunch of games coming from Annapurna. And if you don't know Annapurna is basically like the indie darling of the games space. So most of these games, even though a lot of them have been out already, but they're gonna be great probably. So check a look on those. All right, we're gonna end our show as we always do with an update on the game release calendar for the rest of this year. Cavemen. We have a bit of an update for today's show. Yeah. We have August's PS Plus Essential lineup, which is live now. Download now, buy now. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 coming to PS4 and PS5. Yakuza Like a Dragon coming to PS4 and PS5. And Little Nightmares coming to PS4. Yakuza Like a Dragon, famously one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And what I texted you, I was like, you know what? Because we talked about it on the show. I didn't quite vibe with it. But I'm wondering if I can get some trophies playing this game.
You can.
I think I might give it another shot.
I think if you can just give it a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing, the whole crux is it's very much like a JRPG. You have to give it a couple hours to get through a lot of the exposition and building the story. Once you get through that, trust me, it's like a fucking roller coaster ride to the very last minute.
All right.
So good.
Coming to PS Plus later in 2022, the Yakuza train keeps on rolling. In August, we're also going to be getting Zero, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. Those are coming to Extra and Premium. Later this year, 3, 4, and 5 are coming to Premium, and then 6 is coming to Extra Premium. Why the fuck is this so complicated? Who knows? But if you have Premium, you'll get a bunch of Yakuza games. If not, you'll have to just figure it out yourself. Xbox games with gold lineup for August. We have a game called Calico, a game called Scourgebringer, a game called Saints Row 2, and a game called Monaco. What's yours is mine.
A game called Saints Row 2.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I mean, it's called that, sure.
And the new games coming to Xbox Game Pass this month. As of today, you can download Ghost Recon Wildlands. As of today of release, you can download Shenzhen IO and Turbo Golf Racing. Next week, you can download on August 9th, 2 Point Campus, which is like a park simulator game, but for a college campus, which I'm sure there's an audience. Just ain't me. August 11th, Cooking Simulator, Expeditions Rome, and finally, Off-World Trading Company. And then, Cavemen, I have 2 positive pieces of news and one that's a little sad. Grounded 1.0 is officially now being released on Xbox and PC September 27th. Obsidian, woohoo. That's a little Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type game. I still have not played it, but looks cool. Goat Simulator 3 coming November 17th, 2022. And then the sad one, Warhammer, and it's not necessarily sad for me, but you might be upset. There might be people upset in the chat. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide has been delayed. And this is where it gets tricky. It's been delayed to November 30th for PC, with Xbox, quote, coming shortly after with a specific launch date to come.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked because I mean the Warhammer 40K series is very much a PC game, and so I'm assuming what probably happened was
okay. I don't know Warhammer, so
yeah, they were probably in the process of developing and were just like, hey, we need some more time to squash some bugs and get this game ready for launch because it's going to be huge on PC. That's where it's going to thrive.
Yeah,
and they were probably like, yeah, this game is just not adapted. It'd be similar to like being like. What was that game that everyone really loved that was like the detective noir role-playing game that was like top down? You know what I'm talking about?
Noir role-playing top
down. It was you played it on PlayStation. I was like, oh, it's
coming
to Switch. What is that game called?
Oh, what is that called?
Ultimately, I'll let you stew on that one. But ultimately, I think what most likely happened here was they're like, yeah, this is not optimized to run on a console because of the UI. It's most likely.
Yeah, that was the issue I had with it.
Yeah. And so, and that's the downside of games like this is like, yeah, a mouse and keyboard, this shit works. But trying to convert a mouse and keyboard to a controller is very difficult. So, you know what? Good luck to the developers on that. This is going to do really well on PC and probably review really well. So good for them that they took the time to be like, we're not going to fuck up a second launch.
Disco Elysium.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's just getting that right. But I think that the game is going to do surprisingly well when it does come out. Yeah.
John in the chat says version 1.0. It's been like 3 years. This is in regards to Grounded. It's been in early access for 3 years or however many years it's been. So it is a completed, or it will be a completed, fully fleshed game as of September 27th.
Can I drop a little bomb on you right now, Patrick?
Bomb me.
Did you know that Metal Gear Survive is still in beta on PC?
Oh, fucking! Well, that is funny.
That is funny.
That is funny. That game will be in beta until it is canceled.
And you know what's even funnier? It has more concurrent Steam users than Babylon's Fall.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
Oh, that's
folks. It has been a sweet show. It's been a jam-packed show. Pre-show, I was like, this might be a little bit of a light one, and then here we are.
We know how to talk.
1 hour and 13 minutes and 43 seconds later. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming along. What a great day in the chat. This is probably the most fun episode we've done so far for me because we had a vocal chat coming along the ride for us. So, hey, that can be you. next time. Next Tuesday on 8 p.m. Twitch.tv/Spotlight GameSpot. Thursday, new episode, 8 a.m. is going to be on podcast services. Give us a follow. I'm at Patrick Schwag. Cavemen's at Kid Cavemen. You can follow the pod on Twitter at Spot Games Pod. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Spotlight Games Pod. Cavemen, they can follow Save Trash Cinema at Save Trash Cinema on all socials. We had a new episode out this week, new one coming next week. Every Tuesday is your podcast service update of Save Trash Cinema. Cavemen, I've officially taken the lead in Fantasy Critic League, so get fucked.
It's about time.
And is there anything else that you would like to impart to our sweet listeners today before we go?
I got one more thing.
Hit us.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.